You guys, RFK Jr. has been confirmed. Do you understand what this means for the future of your children, of all humanity, of Mother Earth? Do you understand what that means? Now, this is not a political post at all. I do not believe in the divide and conquer scam. I believe in unity and oneness for all. Excuse me, I'm literally in the middle of a 10-day cleanse or my ultimate lifestyle transformation, so I'm sweating because I was raised in a generation where we didn't have RFK Jr. outlawing and banning the toxic crap that is mostly toxic and banned and outlawed, considered toxic and outlawed in other countries. Most other countries, EU standards, do not allow for the red dye and all the poison that our children consume every single day. Humanity is the sickest, fattest, most sad and depressed they've ever been. And this is not a mean statement. This is just truth, and this is why this day is so freaking important for all of us who've been sharing the truth, who have left our careers, our modern healthcare careers, to share more truth, to speak and share our light. What the light means, bringing the light means sharing information. The lack of information means darkness. So when you see me posting over and over that I am sharing my light and that I'm shedding the light, I was born during this time to usher in this new age, this age of Aquarius, where we get to work with AI in a beautiful way. So I envision our future with RFK, with AI. Now, I can barely just scratch the surface here. I can't talk a whole lot about what I truly know and what I believe and what I educate on. I have an online wellness community where I can go deep on my platform. I have a YouTube channel that I get to go a little bit more deep than here. And then I have my podcast, which I also just scratch the surface of a lot of these really, really important topics. But today, for all of humanity, is everything. Our children and ourselves as mothers, as wives, as people of the universe will be able to go into the grocery store and not worry that every single thing is poison. We aren't going to have to spend $10 on an organic pasture-raised carton of eggs. We are not going to have to worry about our children being shot up in the middle of their school. We're going to be able to send our children to schools that nurture their God-given abilities, and instead of programming them to be slaves and pay taxes and never even be able to survive the age of retirement. I started my healthcare career in 2009, so 16 years ago. I'm only 36, mind you, so almost half of my life I got to witness, and I worked in dialysis, so this was end-stage renal disease, so this is the end stage of pretty much their life. Oncology nurses, other nurses like that will understand where I'm coming from, but I would see people either get sick way too young, which is happening way too often, or they would get to that age of retirement. They'd be amazing people. All these stories are in my ebook. I explain so much more if you want to learn more about this, but they would get to their retirement age, boom, drop dead, boom, get cancer, have to take chemo then knocks out every other immune system and organ in your body, then they end up on dialysis for the rest of their life. And for what? These people were good people. They were teachers, they were doctors, they were lawyers, but yet they gave their life to their service to their families, and then they never got to really enjoy the freedom that we are sold. So I didn't buy the lie. I became an entrepreneur very young. I learned how to manage money and have multiple streams of income very young because I did not see people really thriving. I've seen people barely surviving in the past 5-10 years. And it's not normal for people to be this sick, and it's not normal for people to be this overweight or miserable, okay? The U.S. makes up 5% of the world's population, but yet we take over 70% of the world's pharmaceuticals. That's not normal, you guys. Just because everyone else you know around you is sick and on 5+ medications, that's not normal. Story time before I hop off here. My husband had to get a little cyst removed off of his head last year, so he had to go into minor surgery. And all the nurses in pre-op, post-op, even the people in the office were just blown away that he was 45 years old and on 0 medications. His blood pressure was great. He was in great spirits, had all of his teeth. His hair, he shaves his head. It looks like he's bald, but he's not. He has more than enough hair. And so they were, they're going through this input, and they were just blown away. And they kept asking, how are you this age? Where do you live? What do you do? And he's like, my wife's a naturopath. She just wrote a book about all this. You should go buy it. Literally everyone in the office and every one of the nurses bought my ebook that day and have told me how much it's helped them, and this different perspective that we all just need, a different perspective. So if you are extremely liberal and you're not for RFK, just remember RFK comes from a liberal family, and so for him to have let that go, I want you to let that go too, because it's not about being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about the future of our children. It's about the future of all humanity. It's the future of our planet Earth, and all of us who are born during this time to witness this massive shift, this massive awakening. This is for you, this is for me, and this is for all of us who have gone against the grain, who have spoken our truth, who have shared our stories, who have written the books, who have posted on social media, who've been shadow banned. I have had to start my accounts more and more than you will ever know. I can't even count how many times I've had to restart, especially this account. And so that's why I created my online community, why I have a podcast, why I have a YouTube channel, why I've written my ebook. And so I want all of you just to go out and celebrate with a healthy form of celebration. We don't have to go get hammered drunk or go poison ourselves to celebrate, just FYI. We can do it in a clean, happy, healthy way. And I hope you all feel that little bit of hope. It's so amazing how we started a new Venus cycle. We just had a full moon. So many beautiful things are coming into direct alignment, and I feel so happy and so hopeful for the first time, and I think in my entire life. When I first found out, I cried, and then I laughed, and then I cried. But you don't understand. I mean, hopefully you guys understand. Those of you who have been doing the same thing, who have been screaming from the rooftops, who have been sharing stories, who have been sharing the truth, you understand what this means. Mark it in your calendars. It's going to be a beautiful rest of our year. There's so many more things that I want to talk about, but I just can't here. So I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Make America healthy again.